Hello, beautiful alchemist. Welcome to Reiki Radio. I am your host, Yolanda, and we are in a new season of the podcast, season 13. And it just points to how long we have been in community together. So I want to thank you, as always, for being here. And we are starting off season 13 with some support for us all. As you all know, if you've been here for a few years, Anjie Cho and Laura Morris of Mindful Design School, they come every year to help us prepare for the Lunar New Year. But this year, they did it a little different. And when I tell you, it was so juicy, and you're really going to appreciate the work that they put in to share with us all. So, Anjie Cho and Laura Morris, again, they are the founders of Mindful Design School. You can learn more about their work, which is very much centered around Feng Shui, at their website, which is mindfuldesignschool.com. Recently, they came on the podcast to discuss feng shui specifically and their new book called Mindful Living, A Guide to the Everyday Magic of Feng Shui, which is an incredible book. And in that episode, you heard them guide me through live a little bit of feng shui magic, we'll call it, to support me in the energy of my space. So, if you want to know more about feng shui, or if you want even to become certified in their lineage of feng shui, be sure to go to their website because their feng shui certification begins February 8th. So, it's just around the corner. So, again, today, what you are going to learn about is the transition from the year of the dragon into this Lunar New Year, which is the year of the wood snake. And they tell us about the archetype of the snake. They help us understand how we can all benefit from the essence of the yin wood, but they also go through every sign in the Chinese zodiac to help us prepare for this energy. And like I said before, they share more than they shared with us in the past. So it's more juicy. Get your pen ready to take notes, including auspicious dates for you based on your sign. So let's get into the episode. We'll talk about it. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, everyone, we are here with our friends from Mindful Design School. We have Laura Morris and Anjie Cho. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back to the podcast.
Hi. Yeah, we're
Hi,
happy to be back.
Yolanda. Yeah, we're so happy to be back, and we're so happy it's not the dragon year anymore.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So many of you will know we just recently had both of these beauties here with us talking about their latest book, Mindful Living, which you can get now through all of the book retailers and Amazon. And also today, you've been coming back, maybe this is the third year in a row
I
of
think
sharing
so.
with us the wisdom of the Lunar New Year. So today we're going to learn all about this year, the year of the wood snake. Very excited about it. So could you share with us from the beginning just a little bit of background? I forgot to tell you this ahead of time, but a lot of people do wonder, like, okay, so we have the new year, January 1st. Why is this on a different day? Could you just talk a little bit about where the Lunar New Year lands and then the difference between the zodiac being animals instead of what's Western?
Yeah,
Sure.
so go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Angie.
Oh, okay. So, well, we'll both share. I'll share a little bit, and Laura will finish up. So the Lunar New Year is different from the Gregorian New Year, which is January 1st. And the Lunar New Year falls on the second new moon after the winter solstice. And so this year it falls on January 29th. And that's when we welcome in the snake and we say goodbye to the year of the dragon. And then, Laura, you want to say more?
Yeah, and it is in feng shui and in the Chinese calendar, the first day of spring is, February the 3rd, 4th, 5th usually, because these are using the solar terms as well. So it's a different calendar. And as Angie says, the second new moon. So it shifts a bit, right, here and there, but you're usually looking at the end of January into February or mid-January, mid-February. And we always say that to start to notice the shift of the energy that will be happening toward the end of that year prior, right? Because this is energy. So things don't all of a sudden change or turn off like a switch.
Right.
So we'll start to feel, this is why, we start talking about these things a little bit earlier. We start to prep, we start to think about what, to become aware of what you might be experiencing. So we're moving from the wood dragon into a wood snake. So there's some overlap. Again, these animals kind of go in succession and have similarities. And, so we're not all of a sudden jumping, into something completely different. So these cycles do make sense, and they're smooth, and there's interesting transitions. And so we're going into I would say the energy is a little softer overall. If I had to sum it up, I would say it's warmer, softer, more introverted, like more thinky, more like what do you call that? Introspective. So maybe less like the dragon flying up over, because dragons flying up, and they're the only mythical creature of all of the animals, being able to survey the landscape and having this kind of dragon's eye view of the world. Now we're going to be down low on the ground, slithering like a snake on our bellies, really getting into the nitty gritty and maybe pulling in a little bit, and being more subtle about the energies, maybe a little bit more subtle. So there's some similarities between the two, dragons and snakes. I always say like snakes are kind of like little earth dragons without their legs, their wings. They have some similarities, but overall you will notice, or you should have started to notice, maybe just things might be pulling in a little bit. Maybe you're quieting, maybe you're getting more internal, maybe you're starting to, recognize these snake-like qualities that are going to be coming up.
I love hearing you describe it that way, because I think a lot of times we hear snake and there's more of a negative connotation, but the way you're describing it so far, it sounds intelligent, I would say, is the word that's coming to mind. So is there anything else you want us to understand? Because you are going to help us have some clarity around what the year of the snake will bring for each of the signs in the zodiac. And for everyone listening, you can look up your Chinese zodiac online, and it's based on year, but put the exact date, because someone like me, who typically my year is the snake, but because of where my birthday lands, I ended up a dragon. Lucky me. No, but but there are so many free calculators out there where you can find out what your sign is. So look that up.
And we'll go, when we talk about each of them, we will list the years, but just
good.
As you said, if you are born before February the 4th, you will be in the prior year. So just as sort of a good rule of thumb that you need to remember. But we can talk a little bit more about snake energy. And then, so again, there's two parts to each year. There's the animal, and then there's the element. So the animal associated with 2025 is the snake. And as you said, snakes have multifaceted ways of people thinking about them. And that's interesting, because that's one of the qualities of snake people that have snake in their chart are often have diverse talents. Like they're really hard to pinpoint. You can't just say, oh, a snake is like this. Snakes have so many different sides to them. Once they're wise, there's a lot of wisdom, thinky stuff, depth, but they're also enigmatic in the fact that they don't like to reveal a lot. Thinking about the snake sort of slithering on the ground, keeping, low kind of, quiet energy. But they're also really charming. There's this thing where people actually go as far as to say that snakes are like the sexiest of the 12 animals. But they're patient. They're also really intuitive. So this is a really interesting year energy-wise. The snake is always interesting. And it's nice to think about, if sometimes from a Western perspective, we see snakes as negative, but actually even in Western mythology, snakes are incredibly positive, because they're connected with protection, with healing. So there's, yes, you think of the Garden of Eden as kind of like that one, warning, but, thinking of, rebirth and transformation. That's another symbol that snakes have to do, sort of when you think of the archetype or when you think of the symbolism, the idea of the snake eating its own tail as that sort of cycle of continuing cycle, or the fact that they can shed their skin, right? They have
Right.
that transformative power. So I think there's a lot of great qualities to snakes, and we like to think of their like the diverse talents, and that multifaceted part is that you can make this year what you want to. You have
Yeah.
that, that energy.
It's really interesting though to even think just thinking about collectively, right? And the idea of going from that dragon's eye view, more of like a broader scope, and then like bringing it in and honing into maybe more of the detail and feeling our way more maybe through things, maybe
Hmm.
not being as impulsive or as like extravagant about
Hmm.
things, but just thinking about where we are collectively right now, or like in a bigger world picture, I could see how that would even support us, I think, right now to
Yeah,
come on in and be more introspective.
that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and
were,
that really ties into the yin wood aspect of the year that Laura touched on. So there's the snake aspect, and there's also the elemental aspect. So the element of 2025 is yin wood. And it is really similar to this juxtaposition between the dragon and the snake, too, because the dragon year was yang wood, and yang is bigger. It's like the sun at high noon,
mm,
and yin energy is like the moon. It's like midnight. It's feminine. It's more subtle. It's the unconscious. So in addition, you could even visualize the Asian dragon is very serpentine. It looks like a big snake, and it's much more magnanimous. It's bigger energy, it's boisterous, whereas the snake is just very subtle, not as large, low, like Laura talked about, low to the ground and very grounded. So in many ways,
mm,
the snake really is this yin quality, has this yin quality in contrast to what we experienced in the year of the dragon. So the yin aspect of the yin wood is that yin is softness, it's more intuition, it's femininity or the feminine element, it's the moon. And then if we bring in the wood element, wood is, we could even visualize a tendril of ivy climbing up something, right? It can grab on. And like a side note, like Laura and I were just talking, a student asked us about the effects of ivy on the building, on the outside of a building from a feng shui perspective. And then one of our students touched in and said that, like, actually, on a practical note, it's actually really difficult for a building because like a little piece of ivy can like screw like different types of climbing ivy can actually make little screws into the outside of your home and really
oh,
damage
wow.
it. So even the littlest, subtlest movements can make a big impact. So that's something to remember. Even though it's not like big, loud energy, it doesn't have to be big, loud energy to make a huge impact, right? So
Yeah.
or it's like when they say people will listen more carefully when you speak quietly. You don't have to yell.
Nice.
So that's kind of the quality of this yin wood. And then wood element is like springtime, it's growth, it's new beginnings. It it is life energy, and it has qualities of being able to bend, like where you could visualize like a blade of grass, you could step on it and it'll bounce back.
Mm,
Or, but it can also be very rigid. So we have to see, can we be flexible? Can we bounce back? Or will we be so rigid that when the wind comes, we break in half? So there's a invitation to approach this year with flexibility, with kindness, with a way of honoring still like all of the humanness and the nature and the life that we have within us too, because really the wood element is about like that growth in nature and that generosity that nature has to offer, that nature is always like generously giving us, like a fruit tree will keep giving and giving and giving, but then Mother Nature can also be very harsh too. So working with all of these teachings that nature can offer us.
That is incredible. Listening to this again, I'm like, God, this sounds really good. It's, I have to ask because I know from now being able to chat with you both over these last few years that depending on which animal is ruling the year, so to speak, it'll have a different interplay with the different signs because the not all of them are friends, as I learned in these last couple of years. Um, but even though you're going to share with us what each sign may expect in this energy, is there still this generalized like feeling that we all can learn what you just described from the snake, or we could all benefit from the general qualities of the snake, even though our individual sign may have something more specific to pay attention to?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone can benefit from learning from the snake. It's just that if it's a challenging year, like for instance, for those who are born in the year of the pig, especially, and what's the other one? Tiger, Laura? Pig and
Yeah, I think it's the tiger. Yeah. Mm.
um, those have very challenging relationships with the snake. They also they even more need to pay attention to what we talked about. They
Okay.
need to even more lean into that softness, lean into being more grounded, to lean into being more subtle, lean into taking the meandering path rather than the direct route. Like the dragon just flies where it's going, whereas the snake will, create a serpentine meandering path. I, so yes, absolutely. They may need it even more.
Okay. Oh, I like that. So if you all do happen to say there's particular animals and it's going to be a challenging year,
Mhm.
really we can also translate that as pay more attention to these lessons of the snake, and that can make it not as rough for you.
Yeah, and also part of the reason why it may be more challenging for those particular archetype or those particular signs is because those qualities are typically ones that they need to work on that are more
Okay.
challenging. So it's a little bit like, so like for instance, we'll talk about a snake is also not good in the snake year. And people often think, especially in here in the West, that, oh, well, if it's my year, it should be the best. But it's actually about looking at what is the environment around you? What is the energy around you compatible? Not is it all for you? So what it does is instead, you're kind of like the snake needs to, in a sense, face its own reflection
Mm,
and move out of the way. And like technically, like in the zodiac, like the snake is sitting in the hot seat basically. So, and you're like sitting in where the Grand Duke or the Tai Sui wants to sit. So you're insulting the year god because it wants to sit in your seat. It's like like a clock a circle that moves around. Anyway, like you're insulting it. So then you're asked to kind of get out of what you're normally used to. And then there's also different adjacencies, like the pig is now staring at the year god and so insulting the year god. So you kind of have to face, you're asked to face like yourself. You're asked to face maybe the types of qualities that are opposite to you that normally would be very distasteful to you or clash with you or don't come easy to you. So that's why that makes it more challenging as well.
it's not bad then. I mean, it kind of sounds like the years either offer us a lot of maybe what we would think of as support or opportunity, or like, it's more auspicious for certain animals. But then the other ones, even though we may say challenge, it really sounds like it's like a gift of wisdom, depending on what we do with it.
Yeah. Well, how
Yeah.
do you feel after coming out of Dragon Year?
Oh, Dragon Year. It definitely was an interesting year. Honestly, it was an odd year. That's the best way I could describe it. It was odd. A lot was unexpected, and a lot took me out of my comfort zone in the dragon year. It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't what I imagined. Again, having the mindset of like, oh, it's a dragon year. I'm a dragon. This is going to be all for me. Uh, it was really a great teacher, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. And I would say for all of our listeners and for everyone to know that in the four pillars of the Batsi is what this is, there's actually three other pillars. So you have four pillars total. So your year is one part of a bigger picture, which we just want everyone to remember. But there is a Chinese saying that says that the year animal is the one that lives in your heart. So there's something about the year animal that does kind of connect with us on like an essential kind of large level. But in terms of like projecting what things are going to look at, and when you really think about the astrology of it, there are many, many other moving parts. So, just because you're a snake in a snake year, or if you're a pig, or if you're a tiger, don't worry. This is, again, I think the way we're talking about it is the right way. These are lessons. These are ways of sort of becoming aware and looking at the year overall.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you, some fun tools to use for each of the animals, so you can kind of embrace something and look at that year with some fun things in mind as well.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounded like before this, you all sounded like you wanted to start with the rat. Can I just ask, is there a reason? Is the rat the first sign of the zodiac? Is that how that works?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. He won the race. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he was sneaky.
Oh,
He or
okay.
she was sneaky. Yeah.
Well, please tell us all about the rat and what they can expect.
Okay, well, little disclaimer again. As a reminder, we're going to list all the years, but if you were born before or between January 1st and February 4th, you're the preceding year. So even if we say 1996, you should listen to 1995. And if you're born on February 3rd or 4th, you should consult an almanac because you're born right on the cusp, and it may change year after from year to year. And then also, we put together each animal with some description of the animal, the quality of the energy or the life force energy, the chi or the ki for 2025. And we also are offering for everyone a color to work with. And so with the color, just a disclaimer. Again, so we're not suggesting you go paint your whole house this color. So it's a color that you can explore, and there's a few ways that you do it. Yes, you could paint, but most people aren't going to do that. But maybe you'll try wearing like some underwear that color, or a necklace that color, or nail polish that color, or maybe you start journaling in that color ink, or maybe you create some artwork that color. So find different creative ways to explore that color, or maybe you do get like a pillow that color. And then also notice if like you feel like you don't like the color, you do like the color, you're neutral to the color, and see where you come to at the end of the year with this. So that's our invitation. Oh, and then we're also going to offer 2 auspicious dates for you that are coming up. That would be a great day to start working. We'll give 2 dates that are coming up, and you can that would be a good auspicious day to start working with the color.
Very cool. All right. I'm
Okay,
excited.
so now we'll
So the
start.
rats.
Okay, so rats are resourceful, entrepreneurial, and honest. They're 1948, 1960, 1972, 1984, 1996, 2008, and 2020. And overall, the energy is really good. You also had rats had a really great year last year because they have a harmonious relationship with the dragon. So you're still riding that good vibes wave. And so for 2025, your color is grassy green. So grassy green is a lush and verdant green. It's like a spring meadow, and it's that wood element like springtime. It's creative, it's expansive. So rats can use this vibrant color in 2025 to support your growth, innovation, and new beginnings. And two auspicious dates to start working with grassy green is February 13th or February 25th.
Wow. That sounds delicious. Like, oh, I like that. Even the way you described the green. Okay, Laura, what do we have next?
We've got ox. So oxen are practical, dependable, tenacious, and the years for ox are 1949, 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, and 2021. And overall, this is a great year for ox. They are in harmony with the snake along with the rooster. So they create that little triad, that little harmony. And so, you know what? Good for you, Ox. You can just sit back and enjoy this year. And your color for 2025 is shell pink. So, shell pink is a pale pink, a rosy pink that embodies tenderness, kindness that can heal the heart. So, you can imagine the soft, shimmery hue of like a rose quartz. Explore shell pink this year to open up that nourishing, loving relationships, to prioritize self-care, because this is the year for you guys. It's going to be a great supportive year, as well as acceptance.
Can I just say really quick before you give us the dates? The way you all describe these colors is like next level. But I guess, of course, given what you do, I'm like, gosh, you guys are really giving like a richness.
We've explored colors a lot over the last year. So, and I'm a big fan. And Anjie, I've dragged Anjie along with me in loving color. So yeah, it's been a very color description year. People really resonate with color. We found out. Yeah.
Well, with the way you describe it, yes. I'm like, go ahead, shell pink. Okay. And what are the auspicious dates?
The auspicious dates for the oxen coming up in Feb are 12th and the 24th.
Oh, so they're just like a day behind the rat.
You're going to see a pattern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Anjie.
Okay, next up is tiger. So tigers are dynamic and self-reliant. They're also vivacious. They're born in the years 1950, 1962, 1974, 1986, 1998, 2010, and 2022. So, unfortunately, not a great year for the tiger in the year of the snake. They have the worst relationship, not a good relationship. But remember everything that we said. Yolanda's looking out for you guys. She asked, so, it's not a great year for you, but with the greatest challenges, you have an opportunity to learn. And also, it just means for those of you who are tiger and pig and snake, it's not the year. I always say it's not the year to burn the candle at both ends. Take care of yourself. It's not the year to push yourself to the max. The energy is not on your side. Instead, lean into what you can learn about the snake and the yin wood, and really lean into that and see what those things have to teach you. And you can also use the colored charcoal. So for 2025, charcoal is a really great color for the tiger. Charcoal is like a sooty black. It's very, very dark gray. And it often has like a dimension and a texture, right? So originally, the natural pigment for charcoal was actually charcoal, like burnt organic material like wood made charcoal, and that's what they used to create the natural pigment. So, so in a sense, it's also fire and wood element too, right? And so this energy of charcoal will be really supportive of you this year to really encourage you to indulge yourself in deep stillness and to tap into your deeper wisdom and to tap into that to offer you the resourceful support you need this year. Because, you're going to need to lay low.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. This seems like a great time to bring this in. I'm so lucky again, I think, that I've gotten to know the both of you over the years because especially in the years that were more challenging for the dragon, you did send me these charms that we can also include. Like I have mine on my purse. The one for this year, I'm waiting for the Lunar New Year before I add it. But so say, for example, someone listening like a tiger, they can go to your site and they can see which charm would support them in balancing the energy of this year. So I just want to let
Yes.
people know that
Oh,
Anjie
thank
and
you.
Laura
Yeah.
have tools for you.
Yeah, so it's at holisticspaces.com, we have the amulet that's a protective amulet for this year. And you want it because actually the lucky animal this year is the monkey. So you carry along a monkey with you and they come in different colors. And yeah, Yolanda gets one every year and I just put mine on too. So it's great for every zodiac animal. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And what are the auspicious dates for the tiger?
So tiger, a good day for you to start working with charcoal would be February 11th or 23rd.
And can I just ask you too as well, because Laura, the last color that you shared, the shell pink, and you mentioned rose quartz, and then Anjie, you talking about this charcoal, it made me think of that stone, shungite.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Is that also another way, like we can just use crystals that are these colors to work with?
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
All
forgot
right.
to mention that. That's a good one. You can also get like get the crystal in that color. And what I actually love to do is like to get like a piece of jewelry with that crystal in a color that I'm working with.
Oh, good idea. All right. Okay, Laura, who do we have next?
We have rabbit next. So
Oh yeah.
rabbits are gracious, kind, and diplomatic. And the years for rabbit are 1951, 1963, 1975, 1987, 1999, 2011, and 2023. And overall, it's good, neutral, just keep trucking. And the color for rabbit is blackberry. That's the
Ooh.
color for 2025. And blackberry is almost black. So it's very, very, very dark purple. And well, just think of the blackberry. We can all picture that. And it's similar to like eggplant or aubergine, so it's that really deep black with purple tones. And this color calls in wisdom. It's a flow, the flow of wealth and abundance is it for rabbit this year? And especially after last year, the dragon was a little bit challenging for rabbits. So they can embrace this wisdom and wealth and abundance combined with this color. And you can start to investigate or play with blackberry, obviously at any time, but the auspicious days for the rabbit for Feb are the 10th and the 22nd.
Very good. Thank you for that. I just envisioned, sorry, I'll tell you guys after. I was like, they should really create something with all of this description. It's so beautiful. All right. Okay, Anjie.
Well, it is a lot of these colors and descriptions are in our book, but we rewrote them for the podcast. So, but it's the core of it is like a lot of stuff that Laura wrote for our book.
It's just so juicy. I could listen to these color descriptions all day. Okay, what animal do we have next?
Well, thanks to Laura. Okay, so next up is dragon. Woo woo. Okay, so dragons are energetic, strong, and benevolent. They're 1940, 1952, 1964, 1976, 1988, 2000, 2012, and 2024. And overall, the energy is pretty good. It's a big relief after the dragon year in 2024. So good. It's good news for the dragon. And a color that those who are born in the year of the dragon can work with is fuchsia. So fuchsia is like a purpley, hot, vibrant pink color. And it's vivacious, it's passionate, and that's the kind of energy it exudes too. And that's just what the dragon needs this year, especially after last year, because the dragon's recovering from the dragon year, just like the rabbit. And so fuchsia brings together this combination of a protective red and a prosperous purple to be really supportive for the dragon in 2025 to kind of heal the wounds that we incurred last year. I
I
know.
love that. I'm like, oh, fuchsia. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, and it's not, and for me, it's not my favorite color,
Yeah.
but again, like that's what you think. Okay, there's something that's like I don't like about it or I do like about it. And this is for all the colors. And then see, like, but there's a lot of ways that you could play with color that doesn't have to do with wearing it or painting your
Yeah.
house that color.
It's just that it's not one of those colors that are, commonly seen. Like you don't often run into fuchsia. Yeah, or maybe you do. I don't know. I can't say that I do. So I'm gonna have to do some research on what I can
Yeah, there's actually
get.
a plant called a fuchsia
Oh,
too. And it's like a purpley pink plant. And well, you live in, where you live, you could probably have it all year round. Generally in the East Coast, it's like a summer basket. You can find it. It's quite beautiful. But sometimes people think fuchsia, magenta, like it's kind of people have their own vision, but it's actually has a plant named after it too. So you can look into that.
thank you. That's exactly what I'm gonna look up. Thank you. And our auspicious days, my love.
February 9th and the 21st. And also, by the way, these are just like the upcoming dates, but if you those dates don't work for you and you're listening to Yolanda's podcast after that, just do any day as soon as possible. It's fine.
Oh no, we're gonna put this out beforehand so everyone can put it on their calendar. Yeah,
And no one
yeah.
has an excuse.
No excuse.
No excuses. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Laura.
So next is snake. So snakes are wise, intuitive, and enigmatic. We talked about this. They have many sides. And in the years are 1941, 1953, 1965, 1977, 1989, 2001, 2013. And we talked about this because it's a snake in a snake year. It will be a bit challenging because you're sitting in the hot seat. And so the color we have for snakes this year, the snake color is vermilion. And vermilion is a fiery, vibrant red with an undertone of orange. So this is an energizing and protective red. So reds in feng shui are auspicious, protective. They're like the cure of all things. And this particular red will support the snake as she faces challenges and obstacles this year. In feng shui, deep reds like vermilion, and we have a color called dragon red as well. They're especially auspicious because the color is connected to blood, our life force. So it really connects on a deep level. And if you can intentionally use even just a small amount of that vermilion red, you can change your luck. I mean, that's just T to B what we talk about in feng shui. Like that's for everyone. But specifically because the snake's in the hot seat, we really feel that vermilion is that color
I
for
love
them.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know, isn't
Giving
it
hope.
fun?
Yes.
Every year, I'm like, let's do something different for Yolanda this year, like color. Let's do
Yeah,
color.
no, this is a lot of fun. And I love that we have these auspicious dates as well. Like I said, everyone mark your calendar for
Mhm.
whatever your animal is. And then for the snake, are we going
For
to
the
8 to
snake,
20?
no, for the snake, actually, the auspicious dates coming up are March 16th and the
Ooh,
28th.
There's,
the
there's,
pattern jumps.
yeah, well, there weren't any good I mean, there were some okay dates in February, but the better ones are in March.
I love this. Okay. So March 16th and March 28th.
hmm
Okay.
Okay, so next up we have horse. So horses are active, they're freedom loving and passionate. Their years are 1942, 1954, 1966, 1978, 1990, 2002, and 2014. And so for the horse, overall is going to be okay. It's not like great, not bad, it's neutral. And so for the horse, the color for 2025 is celestial blue.
Mm.
So celestial blue is like an intense, vivid blue. If you think of lapis lazuli or ultramarine, so this color actually used to come from lapis lazuli, the precious, the semi-precious
I'm
stone.
wearing.
Oh, you're wearing
Yeah.
it. Ah. So lapis in medieval and Renaissance painters use lapis or this color celestial blue, which was very, very expensive at that time and still expensive. It's still an expensive stone. They would use this color to depict like the Virgin Mary's robes, which represented heaven in religious art. Also, if we think about the medicine Buddha, also has that same deep sky blue color for its skin tone. So this celestial blue connects us to the heavens and also is a very healing color to support the horse this year in their spiritual journey.
And what are their dates?
And the dates for the horse that are coming up are February 7th and February 19th.
February 19th. I mean, the reason I guess this is so nice too is because you are not just saying like, oh, it's going to be a challenge or oh, it's going to be neutral, but again, here are these things you can work with. And the description of these colors, like I want to work with all of them really, but it's just nice, I think that we have something that we can connect with and just the energy of. So I just want to say again, just really quick, you said the descriptions of color are in the book as well. So
Yeah, we have an
if you,
entire chapter about it. Yeah,
yeah,
about the colors. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we love feng shui too, Yolanda, because it's like not just like, oh, here's something I want to work on or something I want to improve or something, it's not just you're not just thinking about it, but you're also doing something in the earth realm on the practical side, maybe moving something in your home or taking something away or bringing in a color. So really connecting that heaven and earth always. So that's really important in feng shui to have that and to have the yin and yang, right? You
right.
have something something material with something that is transcendental.
That's incredible. Okay. Okay, Laura, who do we have next?
We have ram, sometimes also referred to as sheep and sometimes even goat. So ram is gentle, peaceful, and determined. Years are 1943, 1955, 1967, 1979, 1991, 2003, and 2015. Overall, it's pretty good for the ram. So, they're going to be all right. And the color for them in 2025 is yellow ochre. So yellow ochre is a natural pigment. So yellow ochre is a natural mineral pigment, and it's, been used for thousands and thousands of years. And it's ground down iron-rich soil that's been filtered and then dried. So artists use it today, and they used it thousands of years ago. So it's a deep ferrous yellow. So that's where because the iron content, that's where it gets the color. But this also connects it with grounded earth energy, like a really powerful type of energy from feng shui. And that earthy color will offer the ram support and stability this year. So, that they'll have even more. It'll be good for them to just really kind of like double down and lean into this. It's going to be a good year for them. And then auspicious dates for the ram are Feb 6th and Feb 18th.
This is so good. Just side note, ladies, thank you for doing this work for us. Thank you so much.
It's fun. We like doing it.
Okay, Angie.
So next up is monkey. Monkey is clever, curious, charming. They're born in the years 1944, 1956, 1968, 1980, 1992, 2004, 2016. And they're also the best friend of the snake. So they're like the luckiest animal in 2025. So those born in the year of the monkey are going to have an excellent year because they're the BFF of the snake. So this is a good year for you guys, monkey. You have all the energy, all the chi and the ki on your side. So for 2025, the color that you can work with is metallic gold. So metallic gold is a symbol of wealth and abundance because it's metallic gold, it's gold, and it's warm, it's brilliant, and it's very yang, it's gold, it's like this color of the sun. And just like the sun, it's full of strong yang energy, and there's some kind of like magic that emanates from it. And I think I also love the idea that working with metallic gold and visualizing kind of that warmth of the sun, you can emanate that warmth out and share it. So sharing your good fortune this year, just like the sun shines on us here on earth and offers its gifts with like generosity, not expecting anything in return. The monkey can also do that for everybody else.
Yeah, I love that. And just so you know, again, if you do go to their site and get the charm, it is the monkey. I
Yeah.
can't wait to put it on my purse. I have a monkey ready to go.
Yep.
Okay. Hopefully he'll share his gold with me. And the auspicious dates.
Are February 5th and 17th.
Very nice. Okay, Laura.
Next is the rooster. Roosters are articulate, they're astute, they're confident. The years are 1945, 1957, 1969, 1981, 1993, 2005, and 2017. And overall, roosters, it's going to be a good one. Great year because remember, you're in harmony along with the ox. So you and the snake and the ox, you all hang out, your best, you do great things together. So this year, the color for 2025 for the rooster is cream. So cream, you want to think of, off white, so a white with warmth. So it has a little bit of yellow or maybe a little bit of a pink undertone. And those warm undertones are that earthy, that nurturing care energy that's sort of balancing out that cool, sometimes coldness of the white. So it's nice to have a cream. You want that little bit of earth in there. And roosters can also explore other warm whites. So you can think of, beiges and tans, and maybe you go to like latte, kind of colors, like fun, sort of earthy, light earthy tones and sandy colors. So these creamy neutrals, they also enable the rooster to have this sense of spaciousness, precision, and productivity from a feng shui perspective. And roosters love all of those things. And the auspicious dates for the rooster is Feb 16th and Feb the 28th.
16th and 28th. It's interesting here you describe this warm, warm white. I was like, yeah, I guess you would. Well, that's a great description of cream, but when you hear white, it does feel more like cold. It's a little, yeah. Let me tell you, you guys are really onto something here. Okay, Angie.
So, second to last is the dog. So, dogs are loyal, they're fair, they're authentic. 1946, 1958, 1970, 1982, 1994, 2006, and 2018. And overall, the energy is good. And it's a lot better because they also had a lot of difficulty in the year of the dragon. The dog is the clash to the dragon. So this year is much better. And so the color for the dog in 2025 in the year of the snake is tangerine. So tangerine is just like that color of the bright orange fruit that you can visualize. Tangerines or other similar citrus fruits like orange, clementine, satsumas, they're all feng shui symbols of abundance and prosperity. So that's because the color of those citrus fruits like tangerine, they're gold and they're also a round shape like gold coins. And so they bring in prosperity and abundance. And so this is also a very uplifting color, just like if you imagine peeling an orange in that or a tangerine in that like citrus smell is very uplifting. So this color is going to help uplift the chi of the dog, especially, it needs a little bit of lift from the year of the dragon. So it'll be a good color for dogs to explore in 2025. And their auspicious dates are February 15th and March 11th.
Very good. All right. I like just the word tangerine alone. I mean, you didn't even have to describe it. It's like the word. Okay. And then, so does that bring us just who's left? Just the pig?
Pig. Yeah. Last but not least is the pig. So pigs are good natured, they're trustworthy, they're fun loving. The years are 1947, 1959, 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, and 2019. And overall, this is going to be a challenging year for the pig because they're in a direct clash with the snake. So, but don't fear, pigs. You're going to be okay. You can, as we were talking, get yourself a monkey charm, and make sure you've got one of those. And just conveniently, the monkey charm is also in the color of the year for the pig, which is metallic silver. So metallic silver is cool. It's a noble metal. and it glows, and it's connected with that yin qi energy of the moon. And when it's polished and it's got that shine, it offers reflection. So pigs can wear and even ritualize rubbing a silver, like the silver, or something they have. It could be the monkey, or it could be anything that's silver, as a symbol of clearing away dark clouds to reveal unseen, hidden brilliance that was always there.
Wow.
So this year is a good year for the pigs to reflect, right? To really sit, don't push, just chill, maybe, and get that kind of embrace that yin qi. And this will be really helpful for the pig in this challenging snake year for them.
Wow. Okay. And there are auspicious dates?
Yeah. Feb 14th and February the 26th.
February. Okay. I have to tell you, just as Anjie mentioned before, both of us being dragons, last year, the year of the dragon, it was challenging. Yeah. But again, just for anyone where you mentioned the challenge, I love that you all also had that other side of the fence of this is what can support you. Actually, for all of the signs, you had some great information about what we can lean into, what to look out for. I love these auspicious dates. I'm really excited about this, and I can't believe we did it in an hour.
I know.
We're all pros here.
Yeah, we're pros by now.
See.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is our first time doing this. You can tell.
No, but I really thought, I was like, all this information they're giving, this is going to be a long one, but
well,
yeah,
we're getting good out of it. The three of us, we're getting
I
good.
see.
Yeah.
We have like a nice little flow going. Yeah. So this year, again, thank you for doing the work. I mean, I know that you all also share all of this incredible information on your own podcast. So I do want to make sure people know they can learn more about your work. All of these kinds of beautiful insights, feng shui insights. You guys post all kinds of very like practical things that we can apply to our life, our energy work across the board. Could you tell us the name of the podcast and where we can tune in?
Sure. It's the Holistic Spaces podcast, and it's available on all the podcast apps. And you can also look up mindfuldesignschool.com, and we have a podcast tab there where you can listen to it from the website as well. And then we also have one big thing that we have coming up is our certification. If someone's interested in feng shui and they want to dive deep and learn more about this, about colors, more about how it works with energy, how it can correspond to your zodiac sign, but also how to apply this to your own home, and then also share this with others, and to become a healer, healing other people in their homes. We have a feng shui practitioner certification program, and we actually start pretty soon, February 8th.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask, and this will be posted prior to, so people can have an opportunity to catch this episode. And if you want to sign up for the feng shui certification, it is done online and it starts February 8th. And just as a reminder too, you can get their new book, Mindful Living, which is an incredible book. And I'll put the link for that down in the description. So speaking of all of this feng shui now, I have to say, I got so much feedback. People were so excited to experience when you all were talking about the consultation that you did for me for the bedroom and the office. And a lot of people were like, oh, that was so cool. The guided journey you did to put that essence of protection around, since the garage is underneath. And then the crystal to, disperse the energy between the bathroom and the bed. Yeah, so a lot of great feedback from that episode. If you all haven't heard it yet, go back and listen, because they teach us a lot about energy, space, and just how to create more balance in our lives. So thank you so much, Anjie and Laura, for coming back again.
Thank you for having us again.
Welcome. Thank you for having us. We love our annual call with you.
I know, I love it too. And now it's like a part of the big community. Everyone can look forward to our Lunar New Year special. So thank you so, so much. And don't forget, go to their website, mindfuldesignschool.com. If you want to do the feng shui certification class, that starts on February 8th. And go back. If you didn't write down your auspicious dates and your color, be sure to go back and find it. Take note, put it on your calendar, and we will see you next time. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank
Bye
you.
for now. Okay, beautiful alchemist. First and foremost, thank you so much to Anjie and Laura for coming back again to share with us on Reiki Radio. If you want to know more about their work, please go to their website, which is called mindfuldesignschool.com, and be sure to check out their new book, Mindful Living, which is incredible. And we have a whole episode about that as well. But if you want to get in on the Feng Shui certification, that begins on February 8th. And again, you can learn more on mindfuldesignschool.com. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing all of this wisdom with us today. Thank you for the effort you put in to give us all some encouragement of how to work with the energy within the year of the snake. And don't forget, if you want your little monkey amulet, Anjie will send it out to you. She sends me my amulet every year, which I appreciate. And you can learn more about all of that on her website. So aside from that, my loves, thank you for being a part of this community. As I said, welcome to season 13 of Reiki Radio. And if you would like to dive into any classes with me this year, be sure to go to my website, theenergeticalchemist.com. The next class that is coming up, that is a big one, is called Pulse of Reiki. It is online for level 2 and 3 practitioners, and it starts January 29th. I thank you all so very much for being here, and remember to always journey in love.